I hear you talk about gratitude a lot. And
Mhm.
and I like your approach on it because you tend to compare yourself to people with absolutely unimaginable circumstances, right? And you're here
Yeah.
in America, and your life is pretty good. I mean, even if you're like an
Mhm.
average person in America, your life is quite good compared to people, um, you know, Syria or somewhere in Africa, wherever, India,
Yeah.
Pakistan, right? Um, so for you to come to that conclusion, like what was an experience or adversity that brought you um to gratitude, and also what was a good that came from that?
Yeah,
Worst.
definitely my dad getting killed by yeah, my dad being killed by a drunk driver was definitely it. I mean, when any question. It was that, and then me 6 weeks later going to the Middle East, and then my girl just like not even tell she by the way, she wasn't my girl. I shouldn't say that. I'm still friends with her, but like she was like already talking to some other dude, and I found out about it on Facebook. Like Facebook,
how,
MySpace. I found out about it on MySpace.
how did you how did you get
Just I
access?
looked on it's 2006. I just looked on MySpace and I just see she's in Cabo with some other dude. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then finally I get an email, you know, it was like that type of shit. But it was that was the moment for me. And then with the gratitude thing, right? So like here's where you are. All of you watching this, you're here. And then there's the guy who just lost his job, right? And then below that is a family member or loved one has caught some sort of disorder, or maybe you have had to put an animal down. And then right here is like a death, like a serious death and like a massive takeaway, and completely being zeroed out and having no money and maybe entering into like a poverty situation. Okay. These are all really bad. Now let's go to the 17th century. No antibiotics, like incredibly short lifespan, corporal punishment for anything you do wrong. Like the punishment for anything is death, just incredible levels of suffering, teeth fall out at a young age. Let's just go up to the 1850s. Half of the Earth's population died from before the age of 5, in part because when people started moving into these large cities so that they could eat more food more plentifully, two things happened. One, their diet started to becoming less varied because they were just eating like whatever was grown there. And number two, we started seeing massive numbers of pathogens that Homo sapiens weren't ready to deal with, and it was killing people like crazy. You know, so in the I believe it's the 1300s or 1400s, the Black Plague comes and just completely eradicates like some massive percentage of the human population. Just imagine living in Tibet in the 15th century and having Genghis Khan come, and you can see him coming like maybe 20, 30 minutes, and you just know every man in your group will die without question, and your wife and children will be taken and sexually assaulted. Like, and they may let you watch, and there's nothing you can do about it. You think your life sucks? Today, half the Earth's population lives on $1 a day. Today, they live on $1 a day, bro. You have any idea how like if you live in the U.S. and you make $50,000 a year, I think you're in like the top 1% of richest humans that have ever lived on this planet. Like it's crazy, like how the level of ingratitude that people have. It's just nuts. So when you have that level of gratitude, then you just come to a realization. And a lot of times when you'll find people who grew up in a privileged situation, meaning like money or status or exceptionally good looking people, they have one of the things that they don't have is gratitude. And not having gratitude, like ingratitude in and of itself is a disease like cancer. And it spreads amongst the whole group. People start complaining. I meet people frequently. They would rather complain and become a victim than come up with a solution for any of their problems. And when you meet people like that, you're just like, okay, ingratitude doesn't make you happy, but it's a form of equilibrium where your ego can constantly receive validation. So that's why people like to live in ingratitude and victimhood. That's where it comes from. And so just catching yourself, okay, I'm living in ingratitude, I'm living in victimhood, being aware of it, and then catching yourself and knowing that even though your mood may be low, you still are in control of your own behavior. You're in charge of your behavior. And when you are in charge of your behavior, you become aware of your ingratitude, you become aware of your low mood, you become aware of all these things, and then you start changing your behavior. Then of course what will happen is your mood then will change too at some point. Really immature people, there's a difference between maturity and immaturity. Immature people believe that their feelings, when they go into a dark place, that their feelings are real and their behavior is justified because of their feelings. Mature people go to work even when they don't feel like it. Mature people say yes sir, no sir, even when they think their commander's an idiot. That's what mature people do. Mature people know that their feelings are just their feelings. Immature people believe that their behavior is justified because of their feelings. Does that make sense? And so that's where things get problematic. Immature people can't run companies. That's why immature people have so many issues and end up being, in the end, very unhappy because they can't consider other people's feelings, and they don't come to the realization that you don't deserve to treat people like shit just because you are in a bad mood today. And so that's kind of where the difference comes. That's the difference between maturity and immaturity.
Anger or resentment, holding grudges, all those things. The antidote to that is forgiveness, or would it be gratitude for you?
So gratitude would lead to forgiveness. Again, I've dealt with people who were sociopaths. I got assaulted in a nightclub one time. This dude's a complete sociopath. And I remember afterwards realizing he's banned from every nightclub in the city. He's banned from every hotel in the city. Now there's a video of it. Now nobody wants to fuck with this dude anymore. And he just went underground afterwards. And it's like, as angry as I was at him, I would give anything in the world to not be him. So it was more gratitude than anything. Yeah, definitely forgive him. I forgave the woman who killed my father. I forgave Astrid Carlson when she killed my father in 2006. But the thing is, in that situation, me forgiving her, I have even more gratitude. I'm a human being that can forgive something that terrible. Man, think about all the burdens I can unburden myself with by having that ability. So that's why I'm really, I do agree that that's like really, really important thing. Now, here's the thing though, for us, I want to make sure people understand this. A chip on your shoulder is good. There's this middle area that maturity will allow you to get to. And this is where you can forgive people who didn't believe in you, and even people who like deliberately disrespected you. You can forgive them, but you don't need to forget about what they did. Like, I still don't trust these people, okay? But I don't hate them either. But there's this little middle area that I use as motivation when I'm in the gym. Just a little area where there's like this one girl. I remember this one girl, Emily, used to pick on me all the time when I was in fucking junior high. And she used to get me so mad. She knew how to rile me up. I was a stupid kid. I didn't know what I was doing. And she knew that she could become more popular by making fun of the unpopular kids like me. And I remember, like, when I was in the gym, I would just see her just like making fun of me. New bench press max. There's this little sliver of a place where you can kind of hold some of those things. And for me, it's like when I get on the bench and I like to hear, I see the haters right above me on the bench. And then I'm just like, and I imagine someone who didn't believe in me watching me lift this weight right now, and how I would feel if that person didn't see me able to lift this 225, this 350. How would I feel? How embarrassed would I be? My body just turns into a fucking animal. I'm a machine, and then I start lifting. So I do like it as far as like short-term motivation. There's a video where this dude like trashes me on YouTube, and it bothers me a lot. Like, and it's complete. The whole thing is whole horseshit. I'm not gonna say who did it, but I tell you right now, if I was gonna do a celebrity fight, I would watch that video. I would have them lace me up, and I would put that video right in front of my face right before I come out there, and I would imagine that the person I'm about to fight is that dude. And I would come out there with so much focus and hatred. And just for a few minutes, it's a dangerous place, but if you want to be a fighter, you got to go to that place. I would go out there with that kind of focus and vitriol just to go out somebody for sure. 100%.